It was late afternoon and the two former U.S. Navy SEALs hadn't been seen all day. On board the Maersk, Alabama, Mark Kennedy's cabin door was locked, and inside no one was responding. Crew members decided something was wrong and called Seychelles police.
What police discovered in the cabin was that one of the security officer had a syringe in his hand, and the other one was on the bed. Partly the head was leaning against the wall.
2 days after docking in this tropical resort off Africa's east coast, 43-year-old Mark Kennedy and 44-year-old Jeffrey Reynolds, two private security guards hired to protect a cargo ship, were dead. The autopsy showed both died of respiratory failure, coupled with suspected heart attacks. Police have confirmed traces of heroin in the room and a needle, but the investigation has found no history of drug use by either man. It is a mystery that spans thousands of miles, back to the homes of the two former SEALs in the United States. Jeffrey Reynolds, just weeks ago, was playing basketball with his son outside his Southern California home. Clean cut, according to neighbors. He was a man who didn't even drink alcohol.
Jeff was just a friendly, good-looking young man that seemed to love life. He liked his job very much, looked forward to doing his work, and he looked forward to spending time with his family. Well, I think the longest...
Monica Connolly, already shocked by Reynolds' death, was even more stunned by the details that emerged, including references to drugs.
I just didn't believe it.
In Baton Rouge, Louisiana, 43-year-old Mark Kennedy was so dedicated to physical fitness, friends nicknamed him Captain America. He served combat missions in Iraq, Afghanistan, and was a decorated war veteran.
He didn't look like a guy that would be on drugs. Like the shape he was in, he was always running around the block. Him and his wife were both real active.
His family has told the local newspaper it has no desire to talk to anyone.
It's just been real hard. I hadn't seen the family come out none since he's been gone, so it's just been a hard loss for the neighborhood.
Everyone is surprised, and so are we.
Which is why police in Seychelles are trying to retrace the men's steps on shore. And what they found through surveillance cameras, eyewitnesses, and two prostitutes is painting a different picture than the clean-cut former Navy SEALs friends described back in the States. Police say their investigation so far has found Reynolds and Kennedy were enjoying a night on the town February 17th, eating in a restaurant together, hitting a casino, then at 3 a.m. being asked to leave a bar at closing time. A law enforcement source confirms video images from outside show the men meeting two women disappearing down a dark corridor. That same source described the women as prostitutes and said they took the two private security guards to a place where the men could buy heroin.
Don, the Seychelles police are now reviewing toxicology reports that were just finished this week. Sources tell CNN if those reports determine either the heroin or something in that heroin caused the deaths of these two former Navy SEALs, there could be criminal prosecutions. Police right now say that decision most likely will be made sometime in the coming week. Don?
All right, so criminal prosecution, are they saying, Drew, are they considering possible criminal charges? Is there a suggestion that these two men were murdered?
Not necessarily that they were murdered. There is no indication that anybody forced the drugs upon these two men. But if they can determine that the drugs, or more importantly, they're leaning towards something in those drugs, was involved in the actual deaths of these men, it could lead to charges associated with not only delivering the drugs, but potentially charges related to the murders, the deaths, I should say, of these two men. We're just going to have to see how they play it out and what those toxicology reports say.